A Boswell Wilkie Circus. A Boswell Wilkie Circus. It's boiling hot. Hi there in the name of Christ. How you doing? It's your girl Cranky. God, well, I hope you're good. I hope you're peachy. I hope you're Stella. And I hope you're in a neat little bunch. I hope you're content with my hair because we're gonna leave it like this for a month, and so the scruffier it gets, the holier and healthier it is. Meaning that you should just leave me alone with the hair going out of place. We're preserving it. It's a protective style. Put caveats out there. Captions not always accurate. Don't have time to edit them. One day's one day. They're irreverent every so often, using a small G for God if it's not all caps lock. Secondly, there might be a challenge over here with speech lag because it's really hot, and when it's hot there's like a whole speech lag issue 1 minute. When it's hot I get a speech lag, so like we just deal. Anyway, I think that's it. Silence detection now these days works out for me, so we don't have that as a caveat anymore. Anything else? I don't know, whatever. Look, Boswell Wilkie Circus. I am exhausted with the Boswell Wilkie Circus. Why Boswell Wilkie? Because it's the one that I learned about in grade 4. And since people out here acting like grade 4 students, we are in the Boswell Wilkie Circus now. People are in a circus. Yo, I had a dream. You know what? No, I'm tired. I think that's like I was born by the river near a little tent. In that little tent there was a circus, and in it my people was chillin'. They made it such that it would be long time coming that I would ever see any change coming, because the little tent was a circus. It has been too hard living, and I'm not really afraid either to die, but I can't just do it to myself. I gotta wait to go to heaven. It's been a long time coming, and the circus made sure that that's a thing. Oh, yes it is. Okay, we're not singing. This just gets straight to the point. The way Witchy sang that thing. Yes, like it, but it is so boiling. Oh, Linda will in the ventilation. Where is my ventilation? Where shall I happen upon the ventilation when I'm living in a circus? It's circus. Oh, it's a circus. But to Baba and to look, we're gonna talk, okay? We're gonna have a little bit of a discussion. Never mind, but to Baba and to let's talk about the ladies. I'm so worn out from seeing your Boonga. I'm so worn out from gazing upon your Boonga. It's not cute. This Boonga you wearing in public. I don't like your Boonga. It's not cute. Your Boonga is not the bomb, but you rocking all over the show in public in your Boonga. A Dunga Boonga is exposed to the people. Black girls, you and your Boonga. Those of you wondering what a Boonga is, I shall describe. Tis a very full panty that has been made by grandmama. Because can't nobody afford to go to the Woolies and buy a Boonga manufactured in a factory. So your seamstress grandmama to go and collect all leftover materials from the hats she was sewing, just to make sure that this little girl don't go without a Boonga, yeah. Little girl gotta wear some panties, but everybody's broke, so we're gonna make one from scratch using every leftover piece of material from the seamstress's job for the day. And so the little girls one day rock up to school wearing multicolored boongas made from different materials. And when they jump into the swimming pool, they are kept afloat by the boonga until God bursts a bubble, and then they start to sing. Black girls, just cause your boonga is waterproof, and so you are floating in the water, does not mean that the Lord is not gonna send you a swordfish to poke your boonga and you while you're swimming in your unholy water. Nipping on my boonga at the Bermuda Triangle. Piecing on my boonga in rough waters. Rolling around cause you think your panty is gonna keep you buoyant. I'm about to handle them boonga of the black girl rolling around. Die Zunga! Gotta go, cause now you're grown, ladies. You are grown women, you got babies. You are raising a nation now. Enough is enough, Meti Boonga Santing. This is not 1987, where your grandmama make you a panty using all different kinds of materials that are left over after they sew some hats. Boonga! Waterproof. Bottom line is, you might have been floating for a minute in the ocean at the Bermuda Triangle, nochal. Yeah, but not when you encounter a child of the living God, no. On that day, met your boonga santing, met the pa. It's gon' pop. Somebody gon' burst a boonga bubble. Somebody gon' burst a boonga bubble. Black girls be out here rocking boongas, thinking ain't nobody gon' burst their bubbles, floating around in the sea at the Bermuda Triangle, hoping not to get taken by a whirlwind, cause their boongas are more like life buoys. Not when you're dealing with a Christian. I'ma put some stuff out there, black girls. Kilona, Lady Boonga, it's a 1987. But you're so grown up that you should be purchasing some thongs at Woolies. So you can teach yourselves how to swim if you want to stay afloat at sea. Stop leaning on your Boonga santing that your grandmama done knit for you, girl. It's not 1987, it's nearly 2027. Leave the boonga. Leave the boonga. Leave the boonga. Leave the boonga. Or the cheeky aja in these streets rocking some Woolies underwear made by a factory, manufactured for an FMCG. So I got Mo up on here. She done learned how to swim. I got trained how to swim. Mudimu tusad me to Bermuda. Right. So I don't need no grandmama 1988 panty. I don't need no boonga, cause I got me Bentiako Woolworths. It has no air, it's a perfect fit. If I don't flip my feet in the water wearing that panty, I sink. So I had to learn how to swim. And the fact that I'm sitting out here swimming in the midst of people merely floating on my boonga means I got one up on you girls. Yeah, little, I got one up on you ladies. I got one up on you girls, me. Yeah. Because should anything go awry near your boonga, I'm still gonna keep on swimming. Cause I've been swimming the whole time. And may the Lord teach me how to swim at the Bermuda Triangle, where there's all this demonic activity by our men. I know how to swim around their sorcery. It's about who swim and yeah. Mabaloying. I know how to swim, and I feel as if though all of y'all ladies need to get yourself some swimming lessons so you will stop being so bitter when these men put a bubble in your boonga and now you're sinking. Howdy, buddy, ladies, we're not doing this today, not even tomorrow. Never yesterday. What I doing it? Boonga wera. Go lentari twabe. Lentari apere bonga lenana hora ha hotwa twapera. Go enta ere pa yo tunza. Ikhonza bruzu meti ezi santi. Kiane katano kanya hora ha litongkira 99. Kile shebile mamatlo. Mosari wanzanyana mosai denglang kutabo gelzinas because dona bale tsaile bale pamonsi. Because the bongas alone are the popular mafaharada Bermuda Triangle of the ocean. I'm not doing it, ladies. We're gonna talk. I apologize if you have not understood my language. I am going to speak in English here. There is the speech lag. I will forever struggle with that given that I'm having issues, tissues, and fundamentals. Given that I live in a circus, being a part of the black community. Boswell Wilkie Serekisi. That's a circus in here. Oh, it's a circus. And the chicks, their little like trick in the circus is to see how long they can float at the Bermuda Triangle after some bugaboo. Put them there. Better Boonga in 1997 made of leather, lycra, cotton, lisaga, like everything that your grandmama could find, girl. No, it's like a whole construction site. Yo, that's why you feel so safe in your boonga, but even a construction site gets brought down by an earthquake. Blomang mo lifing. Le jotli di tweba di twibinki. Janong di tweba tana di really di nonsense. These random men that made you nonsense, and now you're looking at me hoping that I'm one day going to start sinking. I can't sink. You know why? Because I'm actually swimming. You guys are just floating. Those are y'all that are yet to be gotten to. Met your boonga santing. It's only because you haven't had a swordfish man with a nose as sharp as a swordfish burst a bubble, put a hole in your boonga so you would start to like twist in that whirlwind at the Bermuda Triangle that they put you in. Bafazi babantu bamnyama, you've been thrown at the like proverbial Bermuda Triangle in oceans, waters, by men that literally are trusting that anizogwazi ugupuguta. You are not gonna know how to swim, and so you are just going to drown. And then once you have drowned and there's water in your lungs and you're looking all pop nut on the side of the street, she's all flipper, she's like flipper. Go Bermuda. They want to kill me like no man's business. They desire that I should pass away. Because I'm not rocking a boonga. Hey, trusting in a boonga to keep me afloat. I'm rocking Jesus Christ, the rock indeed of offense. And so because of my rock, I'm swimming in an environment that you guys are just drowning in. There is a scene go Empire. I will tell you just exactly what's going on. I'm so hot. Watch it, Samana. It's a king. I guess I could be go bua fella because I can go jima no di lance. Ooh, the speech lag. In the show Empire, Cookie Lion is trying to sign some dude to a label that is doing his own thing in a back garage or whatever. And in order for this guy to sign over to label Yahagele Lucius, she enters into some drinking competition with the guys. And she's like, if I can drink and be the last person standing in this room, then I'll leave you alone. But if I can drink and anybody other than me is the last person standing, then I'll leave you alone. But if I'm the last woman standing, if I'm the last person standing from drinking this like strange alcohol, then you gotta sign to my label. And they agree. And there's like a whole bunch of men that pride themselves in being able to hold their liquor. And Cookie wins. She wins. Because she is literally the last person standing. After a whole bunch of men, baloka, they pass out from, like, basically being inebriated from alcohol. And so Cookie prospers to sign this dude over to the label, Yahahe, Lilucious. That scene in Empire, God keeps using it to describe exactly what's going on with me. Now wonke la madoda dagiwela emgaqweni. Ingathi bangiphuzise so much chibuku of the occult. They have so inebriated me with witchcraft. Eningi nje. Waiting. Like a lot of it. To see what in the world is gonna work, what's gonna happen. Some it's death curses, love spells, make her give up, inebriate mo khathatsa robale, iratswetseleng je fela. Ebe I get to be a whore or whatever. Bang zam meditwe batse, but I'm still standing. And I'm still rocking up every single day to come and say a new thing or two. And so I'm gaining respect amidst these miscreants, these buffoons. Because the nalitetabona that poke into Boonga at the Bermuda Triangle to cause women to drown and twist in the wind are just not working to drown me because I'm not in need of Ibunga Gagoko in 1987. I just swim. Kyababora. But I am convicting the lot of them of tabore bata we batsubile matekwana baya di healing and se batla so tshabanto ekibuang. Why? Because I'm surviving all the rubbish they send me. That's how destructive black men are to black women. And everybody's looking at us like we're a circus etegisang. Reserekisi as black people. I was born by the river in a circus tent. Just by being a black person in Jefela Otswetwe Serekisi. And a banda balona batolitsaya and twist you in winds until Mubupibajo is barely recognizable at the end of it. Everything you've ever desired, aspired for as a woman, tatiwe yonke bago pamulets. And a jaka haba pamula hagana, lona basadi doe, lo pamulelana because the pamuletswe. You react to upamulwa of your destinies by la madoda, by pamularing other women's destinies. I'm being pummeled right now by, and pummeled the actual word, I guess you could, say that it sounds like upamula. I'm being pummeled by women because women have been pummeled by men. Litumpilwe kiritweba tsangolaza litumpilwe kiritweba that you never intended to sign up for, but you ended up with them anyway. Last night I couldn't help but think about my former best friend. Yes, and I've got stories for days. Unfortunately for me, my phone, because it's got the speech lag, I'm very insecure about whether or not my content is saving, because I could be just rapping and rapping and rapping and rapping and talking and nothing is saving. So yeah, risk anje ngoba ngiphumelela cheka the way kitswelang pele ka teng e ka gotoloka. Hey, yeah, some of y'all, the witchcraft ebang tumpileng ngayon from lonke la madoda, it was supposed to put me in the ground. I was supposed to be dead. Do you understand? The way iling ngata ka teng e kotsi and engata and habang khone, and because habang khone bang tshaba, and that's why they keep on trying even more. Hong fokotsa hong fetsa, because if at all I am right about what I say, they're in a lot of freaking trouble. Lay a god they underestimated. They've done so many abominable things and they have so devastated communities. So much that because of Taborga survive. And I'm coming in the name of Mudimu. But they are literally soiling their pants because of my survival. Due to the fact that it is saying a lot about Tabauri. Situation never hoping or they're gonna get away with it eventually and ultimately. It is becoming clearer and clearer because of my survival. In the name of Jesu Christ, that they are going to be dealt a bad blow at the end of what they call lives. These nuisances ebadi phelang nyokonyana entse ba phumelelisa e ba bitsang bophelo ga e fela ba. They suspect, do you understand? That's what I'm getting at. Lama dota suspect ukuthi bamoncheng, and so the only way to comfort themselves is to try and finish me off. Because if I get finished off, they can then breathe a sigh of relief that there is no God. That's how evil they are. They're so evil that they need there to not be a God. And so their abuse of me is in order to disqualify the reality of God. because I am talking and standing in him. So each day that I survive, that I rock up lana, and I basically live to tell whatever story it is that they intended I should cease from ever speaking. Every day mangiza lana ngizokhuluma ba ya tuga batatazela ditweba tsena. So basically, women, I am prospering to achieve something that you all, by capitulating, by khonenga, by kissing behind, by khoja di toaster banna. I am prospering to do what you hoped in so compromising yourselves to achieve. I'm prospering to do it by simply retaliation. Seriously. Make them understand ukuthi inyongo engaga, I'm sorry hade bade angifuni ubolile grand sharp. There's nothing of value ngawe, and futhi angikusabi nemithi yakho eminingi, all of this witchcraft yenu, all of these bullets you keep on throwing in the sky trying to make yourself bravado on a mountaintop like King Kong, bashing your chest because we're not Satan. Angimsabi no Satan wakona wenu, because I stand in heavenly places, not Jesu Christ. Do you understand? Can't nobody bring me low. And the longer they afflict me and the more I survive, the more bangisaba. Ngoba they have done more witchcraft on one woman in just a short space of time than they ever have in their entire lifetimes. And Lomfazlona single-handedly has conquered them. Umile, she is standing strong, standing erect. Lomfazwa abantu bonke balokile, abanye balokile, some of them are dying, abanye bafuna ukungala. A lot of them are depressed. Their demons are having a field day with them. There is no way you can play with so many demons and not start seeing things, not start seeing shadow figures, not start witnessing basically poltergeist or paranormal activity in your environment. They have invested in so much witchcraft on me that in and of themselves they are haunted, man. So bad depressed, bad low key. They're like the equivalent in the story Sika Cookie Lion of a matota that are now on the couch lying, basically the groove of the couch. The way I look for another 2 days. The way in a lot of them are so drunk on witchcraft that they can't go back to the drawing board. And the ones that are remain standing are the most recalcitrant and stubborn among them, likely also very high order in the occult. And they're still trying with me. They are very scared. They are scared that they're not going to be able to finish it. They rock up and they listen to my content and cause me to go absolutely nowhere. Only, however, every single time mangbuya, despite them saying uzostopang manginkani karab. Yeah. Mangbuya, they get even more scared. They are literally peeing in their pants because I am proving that God is God. They're like the prophets of Baal. They keep cutting themselves, even though I continue to display ukuthi usomandla ngusomandla. That's what's good. Bangisaba. When have men ever stayed their hands from continuing to massacre impilo zenu just cause you kissed buttock, just cause you capitulated, just cause you cooked like a queen, just cause you gave him 7 babies, just cause you gave him attitude, or just cause you made so much money that you didn't need him anymore? When did your feminism ever work to eradicate that level of misogyny to a point of trying to control abafazing and meat? When? I guess it ends. The only thing that's working right now is my godliness. Some of them feel guilty because they want to believe there is no God. When you walk in that level of wickedness, when you dabble with that much witchcraft, when you get changed, transformed altogether, your personality to a point where nobody recognizes you anymore, you are in desperate need of disproving God. You are in desperate need of making sure these guys are only casting all these spells on me now because they hope to disqualify the veracity of the existence of God. If at all God does not exist, then they get away with whatever rubbish they've done. They are therefore with a conscience sufficient enough to understand without being menaces. They know what they did and are still doing is evil, so incredibly nefarious that if there was a God, they're in a hell of a lot of trouble. Ba mo kotsi enekabatosa. So lona ka di Boonga ko Bermuda triangle, hoping to keep afloat ka di Boonga tsa lona. What do your Boongas represent at this present moment? It's your nakedness. Your evil is exquisite, it is stark, it is clear, and it is gawking at everybody. Ingati, you are walking in the middle of the street, outside lana. There isn't even a bra. Busy the fella walking around, guide my tongue out, let's cellulite. Up and down mostrating. But to banza ba go shapa di motorist or prostitute. They can see your evil. That's the thing. Everyone around you is not deceived, women. Black women, let's talk. You're evil. It's not something that people are turning a blind eye to. Not question. They are turning a blind eye to it. But nonetheless, it is an eye. Do you understand? Bayan bona. Ningun ni shelling. You are butt naked in the street. South Africa is the worst country to live in as a woman. It's got a violence of gender-based violence. Busy kissing their behinds. Jongani, unandipa, makudumelo, whatever. Or she's facing Danyani because of kissing Iezi Yendoda. That's the problem. That's the issue. And Gwazi, Ugumela, you don't know how to stand for each other, black women, and for yourselves. Like, properly rescue your own dignity. Li busy relying on tabaru lo lotle le tshwerile we tsikeng le naked lo lotle le sheleng lo lotle le shapile stretla. You are supporting each other. Bermuda Triangle. You are in the center of so much witchcraft. People go mysteriously disappearing. Like how na aeroplane for fangda esa nyameling. That's where you're at. Lama dota. Ayan nyamalalisa, and by nyamalalisa I am speaking your personalities. Ama character wenu, whoever it is that abazali benu raised you to be. By nyamalala, they disappear. Those women go literally into a relationship apuma completely transformed. You come out ningamagundwane up blind. Angaboni the way that you are so destructive of each other. Left, right, and center. And the level of cantankerousness in the black community, level of lack of support, the level of abuse amidst women is so exorbitant that aguna muntu ongaboni this thing. So for you to think Uguti, people are blind, they think you're an actual good girl. No. Unfortunately, the world is still very segregated. If anything, the Lord says in his word, He's come upon the earth not to bring peace but a sword. Not peace but division. So the groups that people decided to separate themselves into and call it a thing, otherwise known as the races. The fact that human beings made a decision to see a difference between skin tone. And so therefore, what is this group or band with one another based on skin tone? Yeah. Those silos that humanity has created for themselves, man oh man, how they still function and operate within those silos. I don't know how many times I get dreams of white women, colored women, women that are not black, basically. Just looking at my situation low-key on some, you're on your own. Literally looking at me like I'm on my own. Why? Because I'm a black girl. And they've made an observation as white girls, colored girls, Indian girls, that they don't have each other's backs. And frankly, I'm not about to bring somebody into my camp that comes from a place like that, lest I should get attacked by whatever rubbish it is that is attacking her. The way other people are scared to support or help your people, lest they should get attacked by whatever under heaven it is that has lain one of yours destitute. Litumpana one another, women, to a point where everybody else sticking around in their silos are literally standing back on some I had. But I'm not touching that because it looks like it's got leprosy and I'm not trying to catch it. You've made me something of a contagion just by mere virtue of being black. I want to have made an observation ukuthi this contagion comes from being umuntu omnyama. Ingathi sizalwe thina koserekisi. Boswell Wilkie serekisi, that's what's good. Yeah. To a point where you forget each other. You keep on pulling the rug from underneath everybody's feet. And you hope abantu around you making this observation are not going to notice. What in the world? It's not that people don't see that black people are defeatist. It's that they're not prepared to intervene. It's that they don't want to catch whatever disease we got. They don't want our leprosy. Do you understand? They don't want to have to get their hands grimy by whatever it is that made Karabo dirty. Whatever made Karabo dirty. Ya Boswell Wilkie. It is who it is that is my daddy. That's what's good. Umawa mina is like Annabelle, the conduit doll with satanic spirits. The chomita little dwarfs that Snow White. Ga gona ntwe sa etseng sense mo black community. Basadi ba teng ha le bona lo bona di cherry chickens. Ukuthi grade sharp ni taga to a point where ni ataga atana. Li tumbana ka ditlhara le tsebo le iketseng. Ke serekisi. And unfortunately for me, it appears as if though unless I get myself out of the circus, angizopuma from the grain of the black community. But that's just the thing, black community, you are insisting in this situation so that we can all be happy in this misery. Boonga is gonna keep you afloat to go stratting. It's gonna keep you afloat to go Bermuda Triangle. And now that you're twisting in the wind, now that you are twisting in the wind, you are in these streets. thoroughly trying to bring Karabo down with you. Na ga ke tote tle. Ga ke tote mina ngiyaswima la empilweni. Ga ke tote hobane modimo ngurutile o swima. The Lord taught me how to swim. The Lord taught me how to identify inyongo when I look at it. Modimo o nthusitse hore ke se ka fo, ke se ka tlogela monna a lo clip my wings. I should not allow a man to clip my wings. I should never allow that to happen. Ke rutisitswe ka nako, ke phulusitswe ka nako. That's what I'm trying to explain to you guys. Ke phulusitswe before ke tsayela my wings. Before some dude rocked up, ang tsayela mafiko aka, modimo made sure gore nna ke ithusitse go fofa go balea D guy. That's what's good. So manje mina ngitshadanga indoda ezongikenya. I didn't become a baby mama yerendo. Kodwa ngiyazi I'd like lang foster. Dichegitwe hehle. I'm going to, what is this guy? I'm gonna outlast you. And after ngina outlast, the very men enbangangayo to a point of not highlighting inyongo yabo. Bazonjigela because bazosabuso mandla. Because inyongo that they do has been exposed by just one taken chicken. Immediately one has made all of them look real dumb. Do you understand? Bonke, they look like freaking evil beasts. They look nefarious, do you understand? They look diabolical. Ingati bayenzwe from the pit of hell. Into bayenzayo to me has made them look really bad. Not only has it made them look really bad, it has also freaked them out that there might just be a God. Because you women did nothing at all to prove to them that there is a God. None of y'all insisted on keeping your wings. You have been clipped like no man's business. They took your muscles, they took your wings, they took everything. And now you're trying to make me drown. I am a whole bird efofang. Mara wena plumile mofatsi as a little bit of a scavenger that's dying out. You're bleeding out. You hope to catch me or shoot me down from the sky. However, chongo naive on that day. Kanka saver content. I hope it saves. My content saved. Thank God. But I've still got a very bad speech lag. And I'm concerned that nothing I do is gonna work at this point. I'm worried. Like, it's a really bad speech lag, and that's because this room is hot. It is so hot that it's causing my phone to also get hot, and when my phone is hot, it does not work properly. Yashisa, and right now it's like almost 8 p.m. at night, and yet this is an issue with my phone because of how hot this room is. Like, if you can look at my chest, look at this. Like, like, it's just, I'm sweating. Just the mokiruting thing. And that's a life that women have put me in, left me in. Okay? They've left me in this position hoping or Letsatsi is going to arrive when I finally joined the circus, because I was born in the circus. When I also agreed to do a circus act. Hey, 1 minute. I saved just a minute. The way that there's such a speech lag, I'm concerned I'm gonna lose my content. But anyway, let me just talk. Insofar as you can hear the audio, that's all that matters, because my speech is not aligned with what it is that you're seeing me doing, gesturing. Last night, while I was sitting here, basically, I guess, waiting to, like, doing my edits, it was during my edits for my exercise, a thought came to me. Like, it was almost like a vision or a thought, I don't know where it is, that the Lord was comparing. Goodness, I'm so concerned about the speech lag. I just hope that I'm gonna be able to continue doing what I want to do. Ish. 1 minute. I'm busy doing edits at the same time. Everything in my life is so slow, including my computer, because people have insisted that I have no resources because you're thoroughly trying to shut me up, except that's not gonna happen. I'm eventually gonna get to that point. I'm having to work later and later in the day, and so basically risk irritating my mom with the time that I go in the house and shower, because I have to incorporate exercise due to the fact that I cannot work during the day. I cannot talk during the day. I cannot have these conversations during the day because it's too hot. I have to wait for it to cool down, meaning that by the time I talk, it's already sort of kind of late-ish in the day, and by the time I start to exercise, it's late-ish. It's later even than that, and so I'm out here at 11, 11:30, midnight, only then showering, and I've got rules that I have to live by in this environment. So every so often, people are irritated with how late. One person is irritated with how late it is that I'm doing anything in the house, but I'm the only one that is subjugated to those rules. And that life that I gotta live is thanks to the reprobate ridiculousness of people in the black community, causing everybody else that is not black to essentially just kind of stand back, wag their heads, but do absolutely nothing. You have subjugated me, black people, to the tyranny of world apathy. You have subjugated me to the tyranny of the whole damn planet looking at me like I'm a leper and they don't want to catch what I have. You put other black people in a position to get no support from the world because they don't want to have to deal with the angry villagers, the mob of gangsters that encircle that human being that have no interest or desire that that person should be okay. Nobody wants to rock up in a room where people are in a brawl fighting, throwing bottles all over the show, throwing weapons, shooting into like the sky in order to rescue one person that doesn't want the fight. Nobody's prepared to risk their lives that way. You've put me in a position to just be basically marooned in the center of brawling blacks that nobody is prepared to just weed through to get to me. Your insanity has made everybody else ignore me, unfortunately, because that's just the way that human beings are. The more destitute a person is, the more destitute they stay. Anyway, I was telling you about a vision / word of knowledge or understanding, whatever it is that I gained last night when I was doing my edits. You know, this menacing beast from America, this like filthy animal that I can't stand, that nobody is trying to alleviate me of the incendiary insanity of. Yeah, God compared that beast, and guys, I have not been that abused by a man before. There is no man that has invested that much witchcraft in my case. A lot of them will cast a spell, come back, realize it's not working, and then leave me alone. Give me a break maybe for 5 weeks, 6 weeks, a month, again, like 5 months, maybe even a year. Then come back and surveil and check my content again and then cast another spell and go. But I've never had somebody so persistently, just back to back on a loop, subjugating me to the tyranny of his sorcery. I spoke about it yesterday in the video that I was doing, talking about how this guy in the US, I'm just waiting for him to die because he has tormented me like the way that a person that is dabbling with dark arts is tormented by demons. He is like a demon. The way that he torments me with witchcraft, it's like I can't catch a break. He's evil in the worst way because of his obsession and because of his imagination that he happened upon a diamond in the rough and first come, first served mine. He's literally looking at me like finders, keepers, losers, weepers. That's how he looks at me. So the prospect of me being with anybody else or being taken by anybody else, to him it makes him feel like, but I was here first. Whoa, when somebody feels entitled to you like that, it's a schizophrenic. It's just a crazy man. You don't get to lay claim to a human being like that. You don't get to hold on to a human being like mine. What the heck? She gets to decide whether or not she wants to be yours. But this guy feels and so he will fight every man that is trying to take what he imagines to be his property away from him. So therefore, he is at war with everybody around me and me. He is telling himself before I have highlighted the ridiculous dangerousness of this beast from America that was set free from prison because of COVID-19. And yet nobody in the black community has done anything. Yeah. Nobody has seen it fit to rescue me from a loose cannon roaming around, bouncing off walls, wherever he is at. And that is just the grain of the black community. Every man for himself, especially if you're competitive, especially if you're jealous, especially if you feel entitled, especially if you feel as if though there's nothing in it for me. When you feel that way, you abandon women to be raped and murdered by strangers on the street that are bouncing off walls, inebriated with witchcraft, riddled from tip to toe with lust, and will do everything to have a woman that's not his because he has no self-control. He's like a city without walls. That's what this beast in America is in my life. And as animalistic as that guy is, believe it or not, while I have no comparison in my own books to basically map against this guy, there's no one that I've ever encountered that is like him. Not even a single person. He is a brand spanking new affliction on the side of the street. I decided to go and accommodate and respond to a DM of Muntonjal. Like, it's unfortunate, you understand? Kitty tatlhetse mo gara metsi la nkutla ke latlhetse go Bermuda triangle mara hallelujah amen I get nna ke tseba go swima. I can swim. So I've been swimming for almost 2 years that this guy's been abusing me ka ditlhare. O rutse kwa gakala go California mara o busy ka nna akere. O na re ke topo mo fatshe, he can just spin me until I'm so dizzy that I'll end up in his arms. O hlantshwa ke taba hore o spendile $, and a lot of them he has spent like One time he spent almost $1,000 on one spell. To try and get me back in his life. So I mean, $1,000, guys, go and convert that dollar rand exchange rate. It's almost 18,000 rands. Like, that's what's good. Like, last time I checked, the dollar rand exchange rate was 18 rands to $1. So kimo out here na spending year on 18 grand on a spell. Do you understand? If at all you were to convert it to South African terms, so on that day ga o invest 18,000 rand, you are risking, you are gambling. O tsena ka fa gara Gold Reef City Casino and you spend squander salary ya gago kaofela hoping or o tlo triple, but then you end up coming out with zero, not an ash. He is a gambler with witchcraft. Do you understand? Lottery, where he is throwing all of his money into the stuff in order to get a woman on phone. If anything, every new spell that he casts, I've got a spiritual gifting for crying out loud. And why easy Mara since I bizarre $1,000 go fail using a sorcerer that is extra potent, a sorcerer of which he can't go back to him or her. Because spells that's how the occult is. Money back guarantee. There is no warranty. There is no return policy when it comes to witchcraft. Sangoma, pelile, you break it, you bought it, you used my services, Isaiah sebenza fund 100%, you're not gonna get a refund. Or maybe lawyer. There's no money back guarantee with witchcraft. So he got nothing. Like, he invested. Yes, this guy prostitute grandsham, a very high-end one that he spends a lot of money in order to get in his house. He is proper. He functions like a client. My human traffickers. He operates like a client for human traffickers, like people who steal people, who kidnap people from wherever it is that they're at, and then sell them to other human beings. And then there's like a bid for like a whole human being girl, a whole human being boy, and some like millionaire rocks up and buys that human being for $2 million. A human being battle bear price tag moyena like that. Nkaro bear, nkaro nja, nkaro some animal njefela exotic e battle better nkayona later on. This guy is like a customer yadi human traffickers. Onkraile njefela ke tumpilwe ke lahle ke di human traffickers that are called black people. And he decided to he is going to invest, hedge $1,000, $500, $200, $300, however much he has spent to force me to come into his life, and ends up better on a human being made in the image of God, also propitiated for by God. So he's gonna get me no matter what. He is betting on me, and he hopes the day is going to arrive when, being the highest bidder, he is going to ultimately get me. He imagines the day will finally arrive. That level of insanity. Y'all understand? Do you agree? Or that's a very hard knock situation. Well, apparently, allegedly, di bari, di tweba, di gundwani, di ravenous beast. What? That's what's good. Yeah. Apparently, there is somebody like him. God made a comparison to that guy in the US with some guy that I know of in South Africa. And I was like, yo, God, nah, I thought that guy was far gone. But then the Lord was like, that's just the thing, Karabo. You see, my daughter, when these men get away with doing stuff to women, they don't get to that extreme. What got the beast in America to the point of singularity, essentially there is nothing of him operating anymore. He is a complete mbogani. He's a fly now. I used that analogy in the other day's discussions. What got him to singularity was tabaoro o honoema. You are a force to be reckoned with. You came back with spiritual weapons. You resisted. You said no. And that's what graduated him to singularity. Indaba yokuthi usebenzise imithi eminye hard knock that you survived. Ukhunwisitse chibuku ba inebriated for 5 seconds or boba sober very quickly. And so Tabara Azangwa stay drunk. Tabara you didn't stay high. Tabara Azangwa remain a stoned girl. But you snapped out of it by the Holy Spirit. Invested thousands of dollars in stuff that does not work. One net anyway that's consecrated to me. And so now he is basically something that is unimaginably evil in a way that you can't compare him to anything or anyone. Kodwa, abangan bakho, lots of them bakdala. They are incarcerated hostages, do you understand, by men like these. God, but these men never got to get to the end of themselves. Azang ba richer the level of diabolicalism of the died Gundwan in America. Because Labotigan bawe immediately. They fell immediately. They got inebriated ba flopper immediately. Ba lokile kaspiti. Ba pope masisha. Ngabafazi that did not make sense for them. Bazi popise ngabafazi that belong to other men. Batate really great girls. Bapopa ngabo using witchcraft. And so this guy in America, Usa Blomelu Popa, he's still waiting to basically say, hey Pop, win the lottery game that he is playing. This gambling that he is into with impilo yakho ikamva lakho lonke afuna ukukuforce ukuthi uyothatha indoda enengqulaza that thing ayenzang. You've got friends bakdala that capitulated from the first spell, and so the men in their lives never got to look like the menacing beast is psychopathic that deserves Grand Sharp. Uguya 6 feet under, never mind the Danyane. Like prison is not gonna do anything. Kimo tabo besta ukono lopo pakanandipa anda logo Danyan. You can still invite Isangoma. Do you understand? 2, I'm on this, the computer must just start working already. You can still mema Isangoma to a prison cell Danyane. Anga besuga. You can with the right price, the right amount of money. Isangoma iyo consulta anywhere la tlhaloganya o tla lo consulta all the way go the union buildings, it's a parliament abaya down to the dregs of Mikuku, abaya then loko Danyan ga gona pleke ya Sangoma sa prepared ho travelang ko yona insofar as the price is right. So Tabo Besta o kgonne lo pull out a fast one, do a little bit of a solid on Nandipa from inside a prison cell. So lenga le ya America, no, prison is not enough. Gwamele labantu bayoboshwa greshap balo tshwariswa kodi healing. They gotta leave the earth like altogether. Tshwantse ba thoka file, and I'm not insensitive ke motho itseng grand up or ke mo war. And in war there's casualties. And gona le batho who if at all ga ba be go death row o vele o ba ntshe mo lefatsheng ba tlo nnentse ba sotla wa nkutlwa. Danyan is not enough. Not even maximum security. Even maximum security prisoners have visitors. Do you understand? Lo muntu uzo insure ukuthi uvisitelwa ngisangoma. Futhi nama incantations ayayenzwa nasekudanyane inside prison, because all they need are a couple of herbs that are not illegal according to the standards of the country to be given to prisoners. It's like bringing ama apple or ama banana to umuntu that is at Danyane. Do you understand what I'm saying? This phone, goodness, it's giving me so many issues. It's like bringing apples to a person in prison. As I've got so many issues with the speech, like it's like bringing apples to a 1 minute.